You've just stepped into the only place where Hornets sting, Panthers growl, and 49ers try not to blow a fourth quarter lead. Welcome to the Buzz and Roar Show, hosted by a guy who loves sports named Ethan. We're talking Queen City sports with just the right amount of bias and way too much caffeine. Let's get it going.
Welcome to the Buzz and Roar Show. This is episode 8 or 9. I'm getting really into this. If you're on Spotify, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. It might be episode 7, but if you're on Spotify, then subscribe to my YouTube channel called capital E, Ethan, capital T, the capital B Broadcaster. And if you're on YouTube, follow me on Spotify in the channel bio or description of this video. Before we start, I have a fun game I do before it starts if you're new here. Here's how it works. One game for the viewers on a phone call or Zoom call or Google Meet every single episode, or a short game for myself to play if no viewers are here. Now, it's sports related every single time. I don't have anyone here today. It has been 9 episodes, and every single episode I've been begging you guys to email me. I haven't gotten a single email request. I'm genuinely shocked and kind of disappointed. I want this to be like a call-in thing. It's just a Zoom meeting for 5 minutes of your time. Email me in all lowercase if you want to be a part of this, and I will spell it out for you this time, son. You gotta email me. EthanTheBroadcaster@gmail.com. That is EthanTheBroadcaster@gmail.com, or ETHAN. I'll give you a second to type it. TheBroadcaster @ So, like, this symbol on your keyboard, right on the 2. Yep, you just gotta click Shift, and then 2. And then gmail.com. Or, even easier, click the email page in my YouTube channel's main description, and it's right there. Anyways, let's go ahead and start it off now. I've got something that I haven't done so far because the games have kind of been repetitive, I'm going to be honest. But I've got something kind of fun to do. I think, at least. Let me do this so you guys can actually see my face, even though, Spotify can't see my face anyways, but I swear I say that every week. It's called Sportstal. Now, honestly, I have no idea what this is. I just now found this like 5 seconds ago, but I'm kind of excited for it because apparently it's like Wordle, but in a different, way. It's like Wordle, but Sports Edition, which is exactly what you'd expect. I guess duh. But, yeah, it's Wordle, but Sports Edition. So, on my webcam, of course, once again, Spotify can't see this, but YouTube can, so there's 3 options for the Sportstal: NHL, NFL, and NBA. Okay, I was trying to figure it out. NHL, NFL, and NBA for the Sportstal. I have a spinner wheel here. I'm going to spin the wheel. Of course, you see bang, bang, bang. Now let's spin the wheel. Whichever one it lands on, that's the one that I'm doing. Now, I literally can't see this, honestly, because I don't have the webcam on the left side. Well, I do, but it's kind of tiny. So we're about to find out. 3, 2... Oh, my battery. That's funny. What is it? NBA. Oh, this should be fun. Okay, so I'm doing an NBA Sportstal. It's kind of a funny name. Okay, so... Oh, okay, so it's like, okay. Once again, I have no idea how to play this. It looks like what you do is you type in just any person's name, and it gives you a clue if you get close or something. So I'm just going to type in James Harden. What? Nah. Don't tell me. Did I just... No, hold on. It just... Is it not going to work? Why is it not going to work? Why is it not going to work? Let's try NHL then. Let's try NHL because it says one player has found it. Let's try Andrei Vasilevsky. Okay. Oh, okay, I get it. So he's in the Atlantic Division. Okay. So this could be ooh, breaking news. The Indiana Fever have survived and they are moving on. Well, they're not moving on yet, but they could be moving on to the finals. That's besides the point, though. It's not a goalie. Okay, I understand now, but it is in the Atlantic Division, so that narrows it down a ton. I'm glad I figured that out first. So it's either the Tampa Bay Lightning's player, Canadiens player, Sabres player, Maple Leafs player, Bruins player, Red Wings player, Ottawa Senators player, Florida Panthers player. Let's just go to the Panthers, because they won the Cup last year. I wonder if they'll just be kind of easy like this. Let's just do it's not goalie, so let's not do that. Let's do Alexander Barkov. Alexander Barkov. Wow, so it's lower. So it's a higher. Okay. It's not the Panthers either. Okay, so it narrows down those two. Let's do the Maple Leafs. I actually don't know how many guesses I have. Oh, I have infinite guesses, I think. Let's do the Maple Leafs. Let's see this. So, if you're on Spotify, it says that the team is not the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Florida Panthers. It is in the Atlantic Division. It is a higher sweater or jersey number than 16, lower than 88. It is not a center or a goalie. He is not from Finland or Russia, and is a lower age than 30, and a higher overall pick than 2, lower career points than 746. So, I almost wonder it's not going to be Max Domi. Oh, Matthew Knees. I think. Okay. Oh, it's not him. But it is a left wing. So that narrows it down a ton, but it's not on the Maple Leafs. So let's go Boston Bruins. Why not? Let's just go Boston Bruins. It's a left winger. I wonder if it's Victor Arvidsson. Because it does say that's lower than 88, higher than 23. So it very well could be. Let's see. Oh, it's not on the Oilers. Oh, he's on the Oilers now? No, he's not. They didn't update it. Gosh, they didn't update it. On here, he went to the Bruins literally a month ago, and they haven't updated it. Daggone it. That's so dumb. That is horrible. Whatever. I can't believe that. Jake Schmaltz? No, probably not. It's probably not Jake Schmaltz, because he's not a very popular player. I don't think it's going to be on the Bruins. Let's not do the Bruins. Let's do the Sabres. Ooh. You almost wonder, could it be Jason Zucker? It's not Jason Zucker, and it's a higher jersey number than 33, and I should have seen that. That is my bad. Okay, he's on the Sharks. No, he was drafted by the Sharks. Okay. So, gosh, he was drafted by the Sharks. Carter Bear was drafted by the Red Wings. Wait, was it really? Huh. Oh, John Leonard. This would be... Oh, it fits the scheme, but it's just not it. It's like the perfect scenario that I needed, but it's not it. I need someone drafted by the Sharks. I feel like this is so simple, but I just can't figure it out. It feels very simple. Feels like I'm getting fleeced right now or something. Left wing, no. Could it be David Perron? No. What about Brady Kachuk? Oh, he was on the Senators. Dadgum everything. Okay. Have I done the Maple Leafs? I have done the Maple Leafs. But I didn't know that they were on the... No, but it's not the Maple Leafs anyways. Canadians. See, it makes it harder because it's not updated. Gosh. This is taking so long. I'm wasting so much time. I gotta get this podcast out. Nah, but y'all want to watch me suffer trying to figure out who this player is. Let's just guess somebody. Honestly, let's just guess somebody. I'm just gonna put in, it's not the Sabres, it's not the Oilers, it's not... Okay. So let's just put in the Bruins, someone from the Bruins. Let's just put a popular guy from the Bruins on there. I really think Victor Arvidsson was a perfect pick. It just apparently is not updated. Tanner Gienot? I don't know. Oh, he is on there. I feel like it's going to say wrong team. Yeah, it did. It did it again. It did it again. Tanner Gienot was just traded. However, I know that he is Canadian. The hockey player is Canadian. Okay. I'm going to try to get this. Gosh. I'm not searching anything up. I'm just trying to search up the player names. Y'all better trust me on that because I really ain't searching anything up. I really am just searching up the Atlantic Division of Hockey. Gosh, my phone is lagging. This is not a good time for my phone to be lagging in the middle of a podcast episode. Okay. It's above 33, below 88. A left wing. He is a left winger. Goodness. Lower than 30. I really should just make a pick. I honestly don't know. I'm just going to go. I mean, if it's not Brad Marchand. I'm guessing him because I just need some guesses on there. And I get a clue in one guess. It's lower than 37, higher overall pick than 71. I mean, I don't know. It could be legitimately anybody. I think I've got one more guess. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure I do have infinite guesses. If this gets to the 20-minute mark, I'm just going to probably give up or something. Because I really don't know. I wonder if it could be Noah Grieger. This is taking so long. He is, but I don't know if it's going to be updated. Did I actually get it? Yo, I got it! What the heck? Oh my gosh, the pick of the century. It's Noah Grieger. Oh my gosh, that took way too long. Let's talk about some sports now. Whew. Oh yeah. Ooh. Okay. Oh my gosh, that took way too long. I'm sorry, Spotify viewers, because y'all can't even see it. Let's talk, first of all, about some Charlotte 49ers football. We're just gonna start off, because we always do, with Charlotte 49ers football. Wow, I can't believe I guessed that. Anyways, we are going to review the season so far, because last week was a bye week, and we are going to do something kind of fun in a way. What changes would I make if I was the head coach of the Charlotte 49ers right now? Now, there's either two ways that I could take it with the Charlotte 49ers. And I've said it in the past about Connor Harrell. Now, yeah, y'all probably getting tired of me talking about Connor Harrell and just Connor Harrell, but it's a situation where it's kind of some of the only stuff I can talk about. So, what are the scenarios, if I was the coach, would I take? Week 4, where I didn't make an episode, Charlotte lost 28-17 to Rice. Now, once again, if I was the head coach, what would I do? Connor Harrell is injured right now, but let's just say Connor Harrell is in the game, because he might be in the game next week, because this is questionable. But let's just say Connor Harrell, he's not injured at all. He's fine. Let's just say he's perfectly fine, and he's just fine. What would I do as a Charlotte 49ers coach on a team who is struggling tons? What would I do? Well, first of all, I would do this right here. There is either two scenarios. Like I just said, there's either two scenarios, and it's either quarterback room or don't change the quarterback room, change the offensive coordinator room. And not meaning like fire the coordinator, but meaning tell the coordinator to do something else. Now, I've said in the past, Connor Harrell, he's got one scheme and he's not very good at changing it, and that is like read option type plays. Charlotte likes to throw the ball a little more, so they're not much of a read option type play team, which is tough for Charlotte to deal with a running quarterback when they want to throw the ball. However, once again, what would I do if I was the coach? What would I do? We're coming into the next game 1-3. Next game they play South Florida, and Grayson Loftus is backing up Connor Harrell. Here's the two scenarios. We could either, once again, bench Connor Harrell, put a passing quarterback out there in Grayson Loftus, or we could just all around change the offense to a read option play. We could just all around go read option, read option, read option, read option, read option, like Connor Harrell wants it to be. Now, in Connor Harrell's defense, in Grayson Loftus, in really just the Charlotte head coach's defense, in defense of Connor Harrell being bad, Connor Harrell chose to come to a passing team. That's kind of his fault, okay? It is kind of his fault. But what would I do? Now, there once again is two options. I would either make the coordinator change the scheme, or I would make Connor Harrell, or I would bench Connor Harrell and put Grayson Loftus out there. Now, once again, I have to choose one as the head coach. I can't do both, because if I make it a read option team with a passing quarterback, then that's the opposite of what I want. It's just the same scenario, but completely opposite. So, what do I do? Well, what do I do? Like, literally, what do I do? if I was the head coach for the Charlotte 49ers and I'm coming into the off of the bye week 1-3, I'm benching Connor Harrell, okay? I'm benching him. I was so tempted not to click that. Didn't that go so well? I'm benching him. I'm benching him. Oh my gosh. I added a soundboard in there. That's so funny. But the fact of the matter is this, I'm definitely benching him. If he does this one, if we don't bench him next week, I think it's going to happen soon if they actually want to win some football. Because, I mean, this is kind of outrageous how Connor Harrell is doing this bad at a job that he signed up for. Because, truth be told, I was kind of trying my hardest to defend him the first couple weeks of football, but I can't do it anymore. I mean, Connor Harrell is just all out doing pretty bad, okay? He really is. He is all out doing pretty daggone bad, and it's honestly not okay. And I think that there needs to be some sort of change, offensive-wise, defensive-wise, something. Preferably offensive-wise, because once again, I was just talking about Connor Harrell. I wasn't talking about anyone on the defense. But I think that, once again, the fact of the matter is they need to make sure that they just also, if they do bench Connor Harrell, they don't need to let that stay in their minds. Like, they need to take that out of their minds and throw it in the gutter. Like, because if that stays in their minds, that's how you lose some football games. Okay, y'all know me and my analytism, or whatever you call it. I talk about morale a lot and confidence and just the knowledge of football. That's a part of it. If you have the mindset after a quarterback benching, oh, our starting quarterback just got benched, oh, our season's over. Yeah, it's over. But if you have the mindset, oh, no, we got this. Okay, the quarterback got, benched, but no, we got this. New quarterback, new scheme. Let's go out there and do this. Oh, well then, what is the plan? Knowledge good, games good. Knowledge bad, games bad, okay? See what I'm getting at here? See what I'm getting at? Anyways, that's kind of all I have to say for Charlotte 49ers football today. There's not much today because, truth be told, there's not much to talk about off of a bye week in college football. But let's go ahead and move on to the next segment, Charlotte 49ers basketball.
Now that we've set the stage for the 49ers on the gridiron, let's switch gears and hit the hardwood with the Charlotte 49ers men's basketball team. What's brewing in their camp for the upcoming season?
Okay, so just finished talking about Charlotte 49ers football. Yeah, I have multiple sounds on here, by the way. That's why you heard a drum roll. Ooh, so funny. Hold on, let me just... Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I have multiple sounds on here, so that's why you heard the... You get it. There's 4 sounds on here. It's going to flow well. It's going to be cool. Anyways, Charlotte 49ers basketball. I apologize, to be honest, because it's my fault all the way that I let myself predict the Charlotte basketball season literally a week earlier than I should have. Because I realized that the reason why they only had about 14 games was because that was their non-conference schedule. Their conference schedule hadn't been released yet. And guess what just got released? Their conference schedule. Okay. Now, what does that mean? It means I'm about to predict more Charlotte basketball. Okay, so I am about to get this pulled up And we're going to re-predict every single game. And yes, I mean this. We're re-predicting every single game that I had. And even better, let me just erase this. How about this? I will write it down on whiteboard so that I don't forget. So then I can write it down on my phone later, because my phone's about to die, and I don't want it to die. So right now it's 0-0. Let's go ahead and predict, like, how many games? I think there's like 26 games in the season, so we are going to have to do this kind of quick. But we're good. So North Carolina Wesleyan, Indiana State, and Tennessee Tech are their first 3 games. They start off 3-0. Those are some pretty easy games, and I think Charlotte, they've got some big men this year, and I think they're going to be way better this year, and I think that they've got that. Then Davidson and Virginia Tech. I think they actually lose to Davidson. I don't even remember my predictions from last week, so I'm just going quick with it. But I do think they lose to Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech, and at home against Davidson, I think it's going to be a close loss, but I think they barely lose. Then App State, I think they start the season 3-3 and lose to App State. Then back home against Shaw, they are 4-3 going into the ESPN Events Invitational Tournament. So they are 4-3 if you see that. If you don't see it, it's because you're on Spotify listening to it and not watching it. They are 4-3 going into the next week, which is the ESPN Events and Invitational. Illinois State is the first game in that tournament. I have got Charlotte taking the dub. I think it'll be a decently easy matchup. Then it's Furman and Richmond in the same day. Okay, let me get this straight. I actually don't exactly know what it is. It's either Furman and Richmond or Furman and / or Richmond. I'll count it up here in a second, but how about this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 25 games on top of the 8. So that's 33. How many games are in a full college basketball season? 32 regular season games. So it's probably just one game. So it's probably either Furman or Richmond. So in that case, I will just say it's either Furman or Richmond. And I'm going to say that that's probably the championship of the ESPN Events Invitational, and I think I remember a graphic of them being in that last year and winning it. I am not going to guarantee that at all, but I do think that Furman or Richmond is going to take the dub there just because it feels like if it's a tournament, even though it's those two small teams, I feel like college basketball is the type of league to have that environment that will knock Charlotte off. So 5-4 going into North Carolina A&T, then Utah State, then College of Charleston. Actually, the next 6 games are at home. Next 7 games are at home. So all the next 7 games I'm about to predict are at home. So I have North Carolina State and then Utah State. Actually, the next 6 games minus College of Charleston. College of Charleston is in South Carolina. Anyways, 5-4 going into North Carolina A&T. They get the dub, so they're 6-4. Then it's Utah State. I think they lose to Utah State, so they're 6-5. Now they're 7-5 because I do think that they get the dub on the road up against College of Charleston. Lafayette in Charlotte, North Carolina. UIC in Charlotte, North Carolina. Then their first conference game against Temple. Lafayette, I have them losing. UIC, I have them winning. The Temple, I have them losing. So they're 8-7, if you can see that, going into their second conference game against Wichita State. The next, 20 games or however many I'm going to predict is conference games. So this should be fun. Wichita State is the next game. I think they are 9-7 going into that one, which means they are 1-1 in conference play. Then UTSA, I think they lose, and Rice, I think they lose. So they're 9-9, 1-3 in conference play. Then Tulsa, I think they actually lose again. I think this is where they start to fall off. I do think that this is where they start to fall off a tiny bit. Last year, that's kind of where we saw the decline as well. At East Carolina, I think we're going to see a big win for Charlotte going into around the mid-season-ish play. So they are 2-4 in American Conference play and 10-10 in regular season play in general. Tulane, I think they're going to win. I think after the ECU game, I think they've just got all that confidence going back home. I think they're going to get the dub. So 11-10 in regular season play, 3-4 in conference play. Then it's Temple on the road, and then Rice at home. Temple, I had them losing earlier on at home. I think they are going to lose on the road as well. So they're 11-11, and now 3-5 in conference play. Rice, Wichita State, and Memphis. Rice is at home. The next two are in on the road in Kansas and then Tennessee. I think Rice, they're actually going to pick up the W, so they are 12-11. Remember, last year they only won 13 games, and they're only one game away from winning 13 games. Last year, Aaron Fern and Charlotte basketball, Aaron Fern is the men's basketball coach for Charlotte, they only picked up 13 wins. They went 13-19. Then Wichita State, I have them... Let's say they go to Wichita State. I had them winning earlier, but you know what? I think they are going to get 2 straight losses to Wichita State and then Memphis. So 12-13, and then 4-7. Then going back home against UTSA, I think they pick up the dub. So now it's back to 13. And then 5-7. So they have a pretty decent season for them so far. I do think that they're going to be way better than last year with Aaron Fern. And I think Aaron Fern's second year as the Charlotte men's basketball coach is going to be way better than his first year, which once again ended in a 13-19 season. So, where was I? It was UTSA. Now Tulsa, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Then Charlotte, North Carolina against ECU, North Texas. I think... sadly, is going to be, and this is just all my predictions, I think it is going to be a close matchup against all of them, but I think they're going to lose 3 straight, and it is now 13-16, and then 5-10 in conference play. They have got 3 games left. They want to end the season off on a high note. Florida Atlantic, and then UAB, and then South Florida. I think they beat Florida Atlantic, beat UAB, then lose to South Florida. So it'll be 7-11 there, and then 14, 17, 14-17 going in to the final game of the year. Now listen, 14-17 and then 7-11 in conference play. Once again, what did I say? Wait, it'd be 14-18, wouldn't it? Because 14 plus 17 is not... It'd be 4... Gosh, I think I miscounted. Did I really do that? 14 plus 17 is 31. Yeah, no, I messed up somewhere. 7 plus 11... Okay. I messed up somewhere. Let me do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Yes, there's 32 games. So then let's just say they go 15-17. That's a little better. then let's just make sure I have this correct for y'all. How many conference games was there? So I have there being 18 conference games. So there should be 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 18. So that's the final record. 15 and 17, that has 2 more wins than the season before. Now, if they go 15 and 17, 7 and 11 in conference play, I honestly think that is an excellent season. I get that sounds crazy because they're probably not making the NIT with that, okay? But I do think that is a good year for Charlotte men's basketball. 15 and 17, 7 and 11 conference. So I was writing it down. I do think that is a good team effort that year, and I think that any bit of improvement in Aaron Vern's second year is enough improvement to prove to people, hey, listen, we've got this, and we're going to go show people that we've got this. So I do think that is a good improvement, and I think that if that does happen, then I would be set. I would be perfectly fine with that improvement, okay? So I'm just being honest. I do think that if that happens, I would be perfectly fine with that, okay? I'm just being honest. I would be perfectly fine with that. Anyways, 15 and 17, 7 and 11. Let's go and go on. I like doing this, so I'm going to hit it again. Let's go and go on to the first ever Charlotte Checkers Buzz and Roar show. I made a whole new song for it, so y'all better be ready.
The 49ers finished throwing down dunks. Now we throw down some gloves. Because it's time for the Charlotte Checkers to punch people in the face on ice. A good old line brawl. Let's get after it.
So, of course, you just saw that oh my gosh, I'm so cool. I made the new thing. Isn't that awesome? Charlotte Checkers. Of course, if you guys have been following with my podcast, the Charlotte Checkers are a replacement team in replace of the Charlotte Knights, whose season just ended. So, for the entire Charlotte Checkers year, as their year is about to start, they're going, the Charlotte Checkers are officially about to be underway. I think it's October 17th is their first game because AHL does not have preseason. So, the question is for our first ever Charlotte Checkers talk is training camp for the AHL season starts next week. Okay. It starts next week. Training camp. Let me read you the players written by Nicholas Niedzielski. September 26, 2025, 2 days ago. Now, let me just read you the entire article he wrote because, truth be told, it's just easier and it's not that long. The Checkers have announced the initial roster for the 25 to 26 training camp presented by Courtyard Merit, and not presented by that. Don't take that. Not presented by that at all. The group consists of 10 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 1 goalie. Included in that roster are 10 players on an AHL contract. Familiar names in forwards Reese Gaber, Riley Hughes, and Nicholas Zabene, and defenseman Dennis Kisana, oh my gosh, I butchered that name, Eamon Powell, and Mitch Van de Sompel, as well as new additions in forwards Robert Mastrol-Simon, Brian Pinho, and Christophe Tellier, and goalie Michael Simpson. Remember Michael Simpson's name here in a minute, because that may or may not be who we're talking about today. There are 10 players joining camp on professional tryouts. So there's 10 on AHL contracts, 10 on just tryouts. Forwards Daniel Walcott, Bryce Brodzinski, Mitchell Russell, and Josh Lopina. Then defenseman Keaton Pearson, Michael Suda, Phip Waugh, Brian Yoon, Cole Krieger, and Andy Walensky. Training camp begins next week and will run until the team's season opener in Springfield on October 11th. The training camp roster can be found here. Now, let's talk about this for a second. So, if you guys don't know, I am a Carolina Hurricanes fan. Big-time Carolina Hurricanes fan. I am actually going to be covering a affiliate of the Florida Panthers, who are big-time rivals of the Hurricanes. So, I mean, yeah, I got to be pretty daggone not unbiased. It's the AHL, though, so whatever. I'm not going to be saying, oh, yeah, the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup Finals, but I am going to be saying the Florida Panthers are the affiliate of the Checkers. It's hard to explain, but the question was that I wrote down for the first ever thing, which is today on the podcast, the first ever Charlotte Checkers talk, is who is on it and who do I think is going to improve a lot. Now, I've actually did some research on this, and there is one guy in particular. Now, if you don't know me, I also love goalies. So, one guy in particular on this training camp roster sticks out to me a ton, and that is Michael Simpson, goalie number 33 on the AHL contract. He is not a walk-on, he is a full AHL contract. Now, he is 6'1", 198 pounds from London, Ontario. Date of birth, February 9th, 2003. Now, looking at his stats, because I have his stats pulled up, and you know what, why not? Let's just show it to you guys. Let's show it to you guys. Let's show it to the YouTube people. This is why I emphasize for Spotify viewers to go to YouTube, but it's up to you. So here it is, Michael Simpson. The reason why he sticks out to me is because if you don't know much about hockey, goalies have save percentages. And let me put this out there. This guy looks pretty daggone good. Okay. In 24 to 25 season, he played on an AHL and ECHL team. And on the AHL team, he played 10 games, had a 3.5 goal allowed average, and a .880 save percentage, went 4-3 win-loss. Now, we'll talk about that in a second, but then the ECHL, which is barely a little bit lower of a level than AHL, he played on the Orlando Solar Bears. In the AHL, he played on the Belleville Senators, but in the ECHL, he's playing on the Orlando Solar Bears. He played 6 games, had a 2.13 goal allowed average, as you can see here, and he had a .926 save percentage, and he had 1 shutout, and he went 3-1-0 in normal play. Now, he was a starter the year before for the London Knights in the OHL. As you can see, he played over 40 games. And the playoffs, he played over 17 games. And had a excellent save percentage. Now, although you hockey fans out there are going, okay, .880 is not a very good save percentage last year on the Belleville Senators AHL team. But the fact of the matter is this. He has never played in the AHL before this, and this is the highest level of hockey he has played on before this, okay? And the fact that he got an .880 save percentage at 22 years old playing against some people who have actually been in the NHL before, not all people, but people have some experience in the NHL and the AHL, just depends on what your experience level is. Because sometimes you get brought up to the preseason and you get that crowd hype, you know what I mean? But the fact is this. The fact that he got an .880 save percentage shows a lot about the fact that this guy can improve. Because, yeah, it went down compared to his OHL and ECHL save percentages, but he performed decent enough to get 4 wins, only 3 losses in 7 performances, and still play pretty daggone well for his age in the AHL in his first ever AHL performances. So, I'm going to be honest, I actually do think that this guy out of everybody on that team this year is going to be is going to be a great player for them. Now, that's about it that I have to talk about. We're starting off slow for the Charlotte Checkers. Now, their first game is October. Hold on, I forgot. Let me take my webcam away, and then I can look at it off camera. Because I don't want y'all to see anything. I don't know. There's nothing personal. The Charlotte Checkers first game is October 11th in Springfield. Now, if the Charlotte Checkers do try and play Michael Simpson in the season this year, because we see that he did play for the Belleville Senators, the question is, will he improve? So I will say, I think Michael Simpson's career kind of lies on this. Not fully, but I think that a lot of it does lie on this. Because if he can play decent his first year with the Belleville Senators, then second year he goes to the Checkers and plays a little better, then that shows that not only is he improving, but he has potential. But if he plays basically the same this year, then that shows that he doesn't really have potential. He's just going to be another one of those guys who is going to stay in the AHL for his whole career and get traded around to different people. So, once again, it just kind of depends on what you think based on your opinion, I guess. But I do think that Michael Simpson is going to be one of those guys who they do need to watch out for as a Charlotte Checkers fan if you're watching those games, and I do think that he is going to be an impact player for them this season if he does get some ice time. Anyways, first ever Charlotte Checkers segment is done. Let's go and move on to the pro teams, the Charlotte Hornets, and I've got so much to talk about the Panthers. Let's not talk about that yet, though. Okay. Carolina Panthers, and then we'll be done. No, Charlotte Hornets first, and then Carolina Panthers, and we'll be done. Whatever, same thing. Oh, yeah, I gotta do my drum roll. Drum roll! Charlotte Hornets!
Sticking with Charlotte sports, let's jump over to the Hornets and see what's going on with them in the NBA world.
Oh, geez, I accidentally turned my audio all the way down. Okay, that would have been bad if I recorded the rest of the episode with my audio all the way down. Man, I would have hated that. Anyways. Okay. So, Charlotte Hornets. Now, I've talked about what our hopes for the season is in general. I've talked about what the hopes for the season is if LaMelo gets hurt and can't play the season, which has happened the past couple of years. But I haven't talked about what my hopes for the Hornets season is if LaMelo plays all 82 games. Now, that would be unheard of if he plays all 82 games. Sadly. Very sadly, it would be unheard of. But if it does happen, what are the hopes for this? How do I explain this? What are the hopes for the Hornets this season? Now, I personally do think that there are a lot of high hopes for the Hornets, like tons. Now, I predicted the Hornets to have, I think, a .500 record on the dot, I think I said, or I think maybe a little less. I think it was like 35-37 or whatever the record was. But if the Hornets have, LaMelo is there for even 80 games out of 82, man, we literally might go above 0.500. And I mean, I've talked in the past. Now, once again, I didn't say this before. This is going to be a really short segment because I do have a lot to talk about the Panthers. I want to cut this down to under an hour episode, and we're already at 50 minutes. So hit the follow button if you haven't already. I'm going to keep talking about the Hornets, so let's go. Now, I've talked about this in the past. I'm going back to it. That just kind of slipped out. I don't even know what just happened. The L monologue. I've talked about this in the past about, hey, the Hornets having, I've talked about it in the past with my record predictions saying, oh, the Eastern Conference is not very strong this year, so if the Hornets are going to do something, this could be the year to do it. Now, the question kind of is, if LaMelo stays healthy, is this going to be a situation where the Hornets are going to be perfectly fine? They don't need to worry about basically anything. And are they just going to go above 0.500? Because once again, I've kind of talked about how there's a lot of superstar players. Jason Tatum. I mean, John Morant seems to get injured every year, so I'm not taking him out of the picture that he's going to be injured next year. There's just tons of guys. Tyrese Halliburton. The Eastern Conference is weak this year. So if the Hornets have LaMelo the entire time, we should be unstoppable if our draft capital that we got last year in Con Knipple, Luke Cockburner, all those guys, is how good we think they are. So I do think that we are going way above 0.500 if LaMelo is there. I think we could have a, 40-win season, okay? I really do. I think that we could have a 40-win season next year as long as LaMelo stays healthy the entire year. If he's not healthy, though, I still think it's going to be barely below 0.500 at that, 35 and 37 spot. That's not a real record. I know it's not, but you know what I'm getting at. Just barely below 0.500. Anyways, I said it'd be a short segment, but that's kind of what my hopes for if LaMelo ends up playing all 82 games. We should be wonderful, so I do expect us to be with him playing all year. That's if. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the last segment of the day.
And to wrap it all up, we'll trade the hardwood for the turf and check in on the Carolina Panthers, because there's always something to talk about in the NFL.
Now listen, I know you're laughing at me, okay? I know you're not laughing at me, but I know you're laughing at the Panthers, okay? Here's the thing. The game was terrible. Also, if you hear my dogs bark in the background, they're going crazy, so just ignore it. But here's the thing. If I say that we played good and try and work my way out of it, that'd be a complete and utter lie. And I'd be lying to all of you guys, okay? But let's talk about something. I want people to stop with, Bryce is terrible. Bryce sucks. Bryce is horrible. Because you guys are basically the only people in this universe who are still thinking that. Bryce is the only good player on that team who has actually proved himself so far. On that team, Bryce is the only good player. If I looked at that Panthers team right now and said, okay, who's the best player on that team? I would say Bryce Young any day of the week. Okay, he is the best player on that team. And there are some good players. Now, so I do want that to stop. But a 42-13 loss against the New England Patriots is not a good loss. You should not lose that much no matter how bad you are, no matter how good you are. But the defense was horrible. Now, it was unheard of how bad the defense was. I genuinely haven't seen a worse defense in a while from the Panthers, okay? But can we get this straight as well? I think, personally, Ejiro Evero should easily be fired. Like, I think it should happen this week, right now, no question about it. Okay, that is our defensive coordinator. I think first step is fire him this second. I don't think there's any more messing around. I think he keeps messing with our brains. I think 1 week we do good on defense, 1 week we do bad on defense, and he just keeps messing with our brains. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's such a good defensive coordinator, and then the next week they're like, oh my gosh, we should fire him. Just fire him. If there is 2 scenarios and one is fire him, then choose the fire him, because firing him is not that bad of a decision in this scenario. Okay? And you hate to fire a defensive coordinator or any coach at this moment, because you really don't want to, considering that Bryce Young has had a ton of coaches in the past. But we do need to make a decision quick. I really think that Dan Morgan should have made a decision 2 weeks ago on this team. Last year, he could have made so many decisions, but he left it up to Dave Canales. That is not what a GM should do. If he is the GM of this team, he should stop wussying himself as a GM and start making actual, GM moves. Because if Dan Morgan is as good as people say he has been, then he should be winning games left, right, and center. But the fact is this: nobody thinks that we had a good game. Nobody does. But if Dan Morgan doesn't make a single move, whether it's firing Ejiro Evero, whether it's trading Xavier Legette and a first-round pick for CeeDee Lamb, I don't care what it is. We have got to make a decision, because this could be a huge year for the Panthers, but we need to just make the decision quick, or our huge year is over. Okay? Our huge year, quote-unquote, is gone. It's not a thing anymore. It's a thing of the past, okay? And I may be wrong, but in this situation, Dan Morgan just has to move something around. He's just got to move somebody, got to move something. And I think that the first step is, hey, listen, we love you, Ejiro Evero, but you are probably the worst defensive coordinator we've had in the past 3 years, besides Thomas Brown, which you are the only defensive coordinator the past 3 years besides Thomas Brown, so that's dumb to say. But we are firing you. I think we need to fire him, and whether we get back Steve Wilks or we get Jill Blam from, I don't even know, Shaw University down the street. I don't care who it is. We need an actual defensive coordinator who coaches defensive guys like defensive guys. I love Ejiro Evero, but I feel like he's just not our defensive coordinator. I feel like if we are going to win a Super Bowl, Ejiro Evero's name is not going to be on the 2026 to 2027 or 25 to 26 or 28 to 29 Super Bowl winning year. I think it's going to be Dave Canales. And the question is, do you fire Brad Idzik as well? I think you keep him for a couple weeks. I do think you keep Brad Idzik, the offensive coordinator, for a couple weeks, because I think that the chemistry with Bryce Young right now is super high. But I think that if the offense continues, even with a decent defense, if we get that, then that's when we fire Brad Idzik. Then if we get a good offensive coordinator, a good defensive coordinator, a good defense, and a good offense, but Bryce is still doing bad, that's when we say, okay, listen, we have seen it for the past 4 years or 5 years or however many years it takes to figure this out. And we have got to stop wasting our time. We have just got to get rid of Bryce. Now, what I'm kind of scared about is that this might turn into a thing that the Cardinals are kind of doing right now. Or let's take it into this. I feel like this is going to be like a Phoenix Suns NBA type of thing, but in the NFL for the Panthers. I feel like they need to make a move. They keep doing the same roster every year. Devin Booker at the shooting guard, Kevin Durant next to him at the 4, at the 5. It's like whoever that guy is, I forget his name. Gosh, I know his name. It starts with a D. I can't remember though. And then it's like Chris Paul at the point guard. Oh, wait, he's gone now. It's always the same. I feel like the Panthers, they need to stop doing the same stuff. Now, yes, we need to do the same stuff for the most part because we tried doing a bunch of different stuff in 2023. How did that go? Terribly. So I don't want that much different stuff, but I want different stuff to the point where we have the advantage of the fact that we can go out there, try our best every Sunday, and actually win some football games. Okay? I don't want complete and utter chaos like David Tepperfire's GM, head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, O-line coach, running back coach, quarterback coach, every single coach of all time on our team. But I do want it to be something to happen. Okay? I want something to happen this week. This week, something has to happen. And I would love for our O-linemen to get healthy again. Anyways, that is going to do it. Thanks for hanging out on the Buzz and Roar Show. If you want more sports stuff from Charlotte to anywhere else that throws a ball, check out my YouTube channel, capital E, Ethan, capital T, the capital B broadcaster. And hey, if you're already watching this on YouTube, welcome. You're in the right place. If you're listening somewhere else like Spotify, go and hit subscribe on YouTube too. It's like the same thing, but with more visuals and less background noise. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out, or don't, because I'm not your boss. Anyways, see you next time on the Buzz and Roar Show. By the way, that Panthers defense was... See what I did there? Man, I love this soundboard I just got. It's so dumb. I also have this one. I didn't show you all 4. It's this. It's like 30 seconds of just laughter. Anyways, see you next week on the Buzz and Roar Show.
Thanks for listening to Buzz and Roar. We talk about sports, all kinds of sports. If you like the show, hit subscribe or follow. We'll be back soon with more stuff to share. Thanks again, and see you next time.